My name is Kaysie Lingo. I am an acupuncturist in the Chicago Loop. I went to school at Pacific College of Health and Science. I graduated and then started my own practice right out of the door. I have a eight room office downtown. There's another acupuncturist that shares the space with me, and I also have an esthetician. I do cosmetic acupuncture, microneedling, along with all the other modalities that we treat with Chinese medicine. I hold the lease on the space. It's about 2,000 square feet, and then I sublease to a couple of people.
What were you feeling most frustrated with before the six-figure speaking makeover mentorship?
Feel like in the past it was sort of it felt like spinning my wheels a lot.
What made you decide to pull the trigger to be part of the mentorship?
I was sort of stagnant and I actually didn't know what else to try. And I just feel like there was more than just tapping into my patient base. I knew that there was more possibilities of how to get in front of people. So that's why I pulled the trigger. There was a couple other things that sort of hung me up that were actually a surprise in the mentorship that um, it came to light and helped me move past it. It was pretty significant.
Any hesitation as you were making the decision?
So I have been on your mailing list for 2 years, and I always read your emails. They're always like interesting and informative, and um, I'm like, no, 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 no. And then the one about the speaking mentorship came um, across my email inbox, and that particular one was what made me pull the trigger because, like I said, I feel like I can connect with people when I'm in front of them.
Has changed about your practice and that you're excited about?
One of my major obstacles, I never wanted to sound salesy because I don't like it when I get pitched to. Um, I don't know, just I was uncomfortable with it. I've always been uncomfortable with like the close and the sale. And I think that was the biggest shift that happened for me in the speaker mentorship. It gave me this framework on how I viewed it and what lens I saw myself through, specifically how to design a talk that doesn't sound salesy and fake and uncomfortable. But the shift in how I feel about doing this was significant. That I mean, I can't say enough about that being probably the most important thing. Just learning how to connect with people in my own comfort zone and not feeling awkward about it. That
Awesome. And what do you feel is now possible with that shift?
I think the sky's the limit. I personally think the better speaker you are, the easier it is to connect with people, the easier it is to get your message across, the easier it is to explain to a potential patient why you can help them. Ineffective I was being as far as like generating patients and like you can't help somebody unless they sign up. You can't help a potential patient unless they understand your message, they connect with your message, and you present the plan to them. You don't know you're not doing an effective job until you learn this. I mean, I wanted to be a better speaker. I always knew I wanted to be better at it, and I always knew I had trouble with a close. And I can tell you, I was teaching the practice management class for my college for a while, and so many of the students have the same problem that I'm talking about. They don't want to they don't want to be pushy. They don't want to feel salesy. That feels uncomfortable and gross. and so opposite of what they think this medicine is all about. Well, my God, if that's the way you feel about this, how are you going to get patients? That's the important piece of the speaker mentorship that my God, Chen, I wish you were in the schools to, um, to at least give students a glimpse of, no, this isn't, sales doesn't have to be smarmy, does not have to be. Sales can be genuine. It can be you letting your heart show um, to genuinely want to help someone. It's still sales. Call it, if you don't like the word sales, call it something different, but that's what it is. And we as a group and like acupuncturists, we don't know how to do it. We don't know how to do it well at all. So I think I think it's a huge gap in our messaging, in our training.
Yeah, it is interesting what you're saying about the word sales, right? Like, it has a lot of connotation about, like, ooh, icky and that kind of thing, like, ooh, our memory of maybe a particular incident where we didn't like how it felt, and then we don't wanna be like that.
Right. Right. But like, I learned how to not be like that. But
Mhm.
I didn't know how to do it. So I didn't do it. Well, that's not effective for anybody. It's not going to get me more patients. It's not going to get patients the help that they need. I've had people ask me about the course, and that's the piece that I keep trying to talk about. Like, you've got to be comfortable with that closing part, and it's not about trapping people or tricking people or taking advantage. It's about honestly showing what you have to offer, but then also saying, but this is what I need you to do so we can get you there. It was a really important piece, and I can't talk enough about that.
Yeah, or having more of a framework for it, so it doesn't feel like it's salesy, and it feels authentic to you, right? The most important
Yes.
thing.
And I feel like people need to be taught that.
Mm.
Whatever their experience was that's causing this block, they need to be taught. Like, I needed to be taught. I needed something else to move past that. So yeah,
Yeah, you're not alone with that, because I think a lot of practitioners feel that way, and it's a matter of how best to navigate and then also specifically for a talk situation, because it is different. In a talk situation, there's like a one-on-one conversation too. And how do you hold the space to educate, inspire, and be able to bring in patients or clients to work with if it's the right fit? So
right, right. I think was the most important piece of it. And then, oh my God, everything else was like icing on the cake, just that made it just so easy.
you said that right. You had done talks before. Speak a little bit to that. I'm curious.
Yes. Yeah. So a lot of the talks that I've done in the past were they were like an information dump. Um, and not that I mean, I think it's good that we get information out there and educate people on what acupuncture is, but there was no framework. It was kind of like, oh, here's all this information and why acupuncture is so great and why it can help you. And there was there was just no framework. It's not just about, oh, let me educate you on acupuncture. It really is the only way I can help somebody. Education is great, but the only way I can help somebody is if they become my patient. And what's great about this is I'm not the most creative writer in the world. So the program really gives you like a really tight net framework of how to put together an effective talk. So It's huge. It's huge. Anybody that wants to speak in front of people, highly recommend it.
And how things are going as far as your patient flow?
So my patient flow has been steadily growing over the past 6 months. It's been great. I just recently did a health fair that was on Saturday, and it wasn't a put together formal talk or lunch and learn or anything like that. But how I spoke to people who came up to my table, that was even different. It was more precise, it was more targeted, and I signed up 4 people.
Yay! Congratulations. Super excited.
I'm excited that I feel so solid and confident to go in and go into a talk to educate people. I feel super secure now that like I I have very specific tools to engage people and get them to sign up to better their health. It's different. It's different than I was doing it.
And you said you signed 4 people up, so how is it like they working with you in like a 3-month time frame or what?
So they're 3-month programs. Mostly because I'm telling you, I don't know if it's the Chicago or the Midwest diet, but we have a lot of gastrointestinal issues here in the city, it seems like. So
Mm.
all 4 people were coming in for the same thing.
Mhm. And so that's like 4 people at $3,500. Like that's what, over $12,000. That's pretty awesome, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty good.
So awesome. Congratulations. And what are you excited about when you got some opportunity? That was super exciting. Tell them about what happened that you're excited about.
I was lucky enough to get in with a group. They're a big corporate group that's downtown in Chicago. They have about 800 employees. So I am doing health fairs and informational talks for the company now. And now um, I just have this roadmap that, well, if I can do it here, of course I can do it here, and I can do it here. And the other thing that I will say about the mentorship program is there was other people who were doing this program with me, and their input and their feedback on the process was invaluable. I wasn't really sure how I was going to like this group program. Love it. Love it. Yes.
Awesome. And what would you say you enjoyed most about the mentorship experience?
What I enjoyed the most, surprisingly, was the group dynamic. It's always helpful to me when I hear someone else speak about their project or even if they fumble through it, it gives you so many pearls to help you sort of hone and define your own talk. So boy, the group dynamic was great. I still I'm keeping in contact with a handful of them. So I think it's just great.
Awesome. And how did you feel about, for example, attracting provider referrals?
Prior to the training, it wasn't even something that was on my radar. I didn't feel comfortable doing it, didn't know how to do it, didn't want to do it. Um, but the mentorship program, that changes everything. And again, you're not fumbling through this. You have this um I keep saying roadmap, but it's a very structured way of learning how to contact people, learning what to say. And there is so much information in not just from the classes, but Jen, you have this amazing database that you can look at and help you hone your message. It's pretty incredible.
Awesome. And what was it like to have the done for you templates and script?
I loved it. Having a script just available to me, and because like I said, I'm not the most creative writer in the world. So you have this baseline that you can then sort of add things, maybe tweak it a little bit to make it sound more like yourself. But oh my goodness, it is. I think that's why people feel so overwhelmed because they have no tools. They don't have any examples of what to do, how to do it. And all of the scripts and the templates, they're great. I mean, that speaker one template, I use it again and again. It's fantastic.
Awesome. And how do you feel this has helped you with like getting booked and getting opportunities?
The mentorship program provides, at least a dozen different avenues to get speaker engagements. And some I had no idea even existed. So you don't know what you don't know until somebody shows you. And now it's just like, wow, this is so handy.
Yay. And how has this been different from other business trainings that you've had in the past?
I feel like for acupuncturists, there's not a lot of business mentorships out there. I mean, there are, but they're hard to find. You don't know who's good at it. The reason why I chose you is because of our chair of our national organization took your course and you came highly
Which national
recommended.
organization are you talking about?
American Society of Acupuncturists. Our chair, our president of the national organization, she took your course and I talked to her about it and she recommended it. So that was, it's good to know somebody who took the class.
Tell us a little bit about your practice and what you offer. Share a bit more about the range of services that you offer.
Most of my practice, my patient base is made up of pain disorders, musculoskeletal pain disorders. And then the rest of it is really either gastrointestinal problems or gynecological problems. Those seem to be the three that I attract the most. And then I'm in a year-long dermatology course that I'm being trained in right now. I will eventually sort of put all of my effort and all of my training into treating dermatology cases. It's going to be online. It's going to be a whole nother animal. So I will eventually be doing more training.
Exciting. Are you insurance or cash or
I'm a mixture of both. The majority of my patients are cash patients because in the Midwest, only about 40% of insurance policies cover acupuncture. So I would say my split is probably 35% to 65% of cash to insurance. I don't sell my services as an individual treatment. I sell my services as a package because it takes more than one acupuncture session to get somebody healthy. So I want people to understand what it's going to take completely, as then just say, well, come in for a few sessions and let's see how it goes. That doesn't necessarily work. And that's sort of so I can correlate that back to the training. It isn't just, oh, hey, let me show you how to put together a talk. It is, here's how you do a speaker one sheet. Here's all these avenues of getting speaking engagements. Here's how you put together a talk. Here's how you put together a close. And it gives you, I don't feel like there's any missing pieces. And I'm sort of tying that to when I give somebody a treatment plan because I want it to encompass everything. And I don't feel like there was any gaps I didn't walk away saying, oh, I wish I learned how to do this. It was really a total package. It was great.
awesome. So what are you charging in your practice, like the range?
It depends on what someone's coming in for. But generally, if somebody's coming in for gastrointestinal issues or gynecological issues, I do 3-month packages and they are $3,500. Think
And
herbs and acupuncture.
oh, go ahead.
90% of the time, minus the musculoskeletal, include acupuncture and herbal medicine. I combine the two to treat gut issues and menstrual issues.
Great.
Thank you.
And what's been ahead you're most looking forward to with your vision?
So oddly enough, what I'm most looking forward Two is I will eventually get away from a brick and mortar, and I am going to turn my practice into an online practice that's strictly dermatology. And again, dermatology, it has everything to do with hormones or what's going on in the gut. So, two things that I love to treat happen to be the reasons why people have skin conditions. So, I will eventually move my entire practice online and to be able to be mobile and not have to be confined to a brick and mortar, and so I can be in Italy and still be treating patients. That's my that's what I'm most, and I feel confident that I can do it now.
Awesome. Love it. When do you want to go to Italy?
I'm trying to get my citizenship for Italy because my grandfather was never naturalized here in the United States, and he's from Italy. So I have a pathway to citizenship through descent. So it's like a 2-year process to get your citizenship, but that's what I am working towards. And I better start taking Italian lessons because I don't speak. You know, I'm sure there's some expat communities in Italy. That's my goal. Be there in the winter and then in Chicago in the summer.
Love it. If you knew then what you know now, what advice would you give?
Don't hesitate. Just pull the trigger. Just pull the trigger and do the program. If I knew how structured it was going to be, if I knew, it was like, I swear to God, it's like ABCs. I wouldn't have waited had I known it was so structured, so easy to incorporate your personality into it. I just wouldn't have waited. That's the advice I would give to anybody thinking about doing this right now.
What would you say to someone who might be on the fence?
I mean, everybody's got different reasons, but I think a big reason why people are on the fence is because they're not convinced that a program's going to help them. They're not convinced they're going to get out of what they're investing in time and in money. I would just say talk to other people who've done this program, and 100% you will get everything you need. If being a speaker and getting in front of people is what you want to do, 100% this program will equip you to do that. Don't be on the fence about it. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
And what about like for doctor referrals?
I preferred being in front of the lay public. But if I ever decide to turn my focus towards doctors, I'm not worried about it at all. Not even a little bit, because everything that I need, because now I can still go back. I can still go back and look at the templates, go back and watch the videos. So, when we were talking about the doctor referrals, my attention wasn't super focused on that because I had no desire to do it. But if I ever change my mind, all that is still there for me. So even if you're like, well, I don't want to do this piece, you may somewhere down the line, and it's all right there at your fingertips. It's great.
What was this experience like for you as an introvert?
What has always stopped me is feeling awkward, inauthentic. Um, I don't want to over promise and under deliver. And I know that this may sound confusing for me to say this, but that's specifically what shifted in the program. I don't feel those things anymore. I can't find the words to explain it, but the way we were taught to design a talk shifted all of that for me. And I don't have those hangups anymore. It's freeing. It's absolutely freeing. So it's just not about the technical stuff. I would say, and Jen, you talk to all of your students, I would say that every single person that takes this class will have some kind of emotional shift, some sort of emotional perspective that will shift. And that is worth its weight in gold. So if you feel any of that, don't wait. Take the plunge.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share and being with us today and continuing to be on the up and up in your practice. And then also sharing how you can help people in a bigger way as you actually speak in front of different audiences. It's super exciting. So thank you so much again for taking the time. And for those of you who are in a place where you are at a plateau in your practice, or you just feel like something's bubbling up inside you, you feel like you're capable of so much more, and you would love to be growing a practice that feels expansive and is the best expression of you, and also experience more ease and flow. Or maybe you would love to transition to have more of a cash-based practice or a virtual practice that gives you flexibility or freedom, then feel free to reach out to introvertedvisionary.com and book a free call. I'm more than happy to see how we can help you with growing your practice faster. And so with that, thank you so much for joining us today.